Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to C.A.R. Entertainment. I am your host Don Hamilton, and today guys we're going to be talking about transplants, more specifically blood transplants in biology. It's going to be A21 once again, but let's get straight into this. So we're going to give you a quick introduction where the body where the human body produces an immune response to non-self antigens. And transplanted organs will produce an immune response as these organs will contain non-self antigens if from someone else. So for example, if I needed a kidney transplant and I just took it from a randomer out there, that they'll have antigens that my immune system won't recognize, and therefore an immune response will be triggered. However, there will be exceptions made if the tissue that is transplanted is within the same person. So for example, skin grafts, or an organ is transplanted between identical twins because they have the same genetic makeup. So transplant rejection then. This is the main reason for an organ transplant failing, and the process of rejection occurs by T lymphocytes becoming sensitized, and then the non-self antigens that are present in the transplanted tissue. So that's why they become sensitized. Then these T cells will become cloned by mitosis, producing killer T cells, which then destroy the transplanted cells. Organ transplants are usually the last resort. So there are strategies for reducing rejection. Number one is tissue typing, which is the process of matching the donor and the recipient cell surface antigens. Try and get a good as match as possible. The best tissue matching is between close relatives. Another one is immunosuppression techniques, and this is the use of drugs to inhibit DNA replication, and therefore the cloning of lymphocytes will slow down and stop the rejection process. But these have to be taken for a very long time. Another immunosuppression technique is X-rays, as these inhibit the production of lymphocytes through irradiation of the bone marrow or the lymph gland, but side effects can result, and the X-rays are usually a backup to immunosuppressant drugs. So immunosuppression then between drugs or X-rays can compromise the recipient's immune system, and the individual can become susceptible to infection. Immunosuppression depresses the immune system. This is why that comes from. So additional strategies that can be used are antiviral drugs, antibacterial mouthrinses, and monoclonal antibodies, which target and reduce the effect of T cells involved in rejection. So a blood transfusion then, what is it? Well, erythrocytes or red blood cells as you may know them, have antigens on their cell surface membrane as we discussed. There's a system called the ABO system with 4 different types of blood, A, B, AB, and O. I really recommend going to find out what type of blood type you are. Now, A, B, and O is polymorphism, where there's several distinct categories and it's discontinuous. So blood can be donated from Group A to a recipient Group A, as the recipient has no anti-A antibodies. So Group A will have, so if you're blood type A, you will have antigen A, but no anti-A antibodies, as these will then obviously agglutinate your blood. So blood cannot be donated then from Group A to Group B, as the Group B recipient will have anti-A antibodies, and the presence of both antigen A and anti-A antibodies will cause an antigen-antibody reaction. Now the red blood cells with antigen A will agglutinate, so basically clump together, and this agglutination will block the capillary network, leading to organ failure and death. Now, Group O will not have A or B antigens, so they can be transfused into all 4 groups, and this is called the universal donor. AB lacks both anti-A and anti-B antibodies, so they can receive blood from any group, and this is called the universal recipient. Now we're going to talk about the Rhesus system, because you can't just be AB, or O. There's going to be a positive or negative to that. So the Rhesus system is the presence or absence of an antigen D on the cell surface membrane of erythrocytes. 85% have antigen D and are called Rhesus positive, but Rhesus negative means you don't have this antigen. Now, antibodies against antigen D don't occur naturally in the plasma. So Rhesus positive will not produce, under any circumstance, will not produce anti-D antibodies, and this is because B lymphocytes are switched off. Rhesus negative, however, can produce anti-D antibodies when the blood is contaminated with antigen D. Okay? And we're going to give you a couple of examples of that. So the Rhesus will occur whenever there's a blood transfusion between Rhesus positive and Rhesus negative. So a Rhesus negative mum has a Rhesus positive baby. Then some Rhesus positive erythrocytes will leak into the mum's circulation. So the mum will produce anti-D antibodies. But when the baby is born, there'll be no threat to developing tissues, because the primary immune response is slow. But the next Rhesus positive baby that the Rhesus negative mum has, These B lymphocytes will produce anti-D antibodies, which will cross the placenta, causing agglutination of the fetal erythrocytes, and hemolytic disease of the newborn will occur. So there are precautions to this, though. Rhesus negative mothers are now given an injection of anti-D antibodies before giving birth, and these attach to the antigen D containing fetal erythrocytes, which pass across the placenta for the first time. And this happens so the B lymphocytes are not stimulated to produce anti-D antibodies, and therefore the memory cells can continue to produce. It's basically you have them, and then whenever they're used, they're used. So if the baby is rhesus positive, the mom is given more anti-D antibodies 72 hours after. So they're given them before, whenever they don't know the blood type, and then after if it is rhesus positive. If medical screening and intervention is bypassed and rhesus positive and it still occurs, then the baby is also treated by blood transfusion. Thank you for watching this video. I've been Don Hammond from C.A.R Entertainment, and I will see you next time.